Hi all, good morning, good afternoon. Hope you are doing well. Okay, so today in this class, it's continuation to the previous class. So if you have not seen the previous class, please go through the previous class part 1 and part 2, where we understood how exactly we can build one autonomous agent using UiPath Studio Web. And in the part 1, we talked about the problem statement and different types of agents available in UiPath Studio. Then we have created one of the autonomous agent. Okay. And inside that autonomous agent, then we have built one agent called appointment management agent. Okay. So if you see in this my screen, so no, this is the agent we have built, right? The appointment management agent. Okay, so if you click on this solution explorer, in the solution explorer, I'll just do a recap. We have created three uh, flows. Out of three flows, two are in RPA workflow, one is the agent. Appointment reply workflow will be our main workflow. Okay, so then in this main workflow, I am just traversing through the Excel and reading the data from the Excel, nothing but the emails. And then inside this I am going to I'm calling one of the agent is called appointment scheduler agent. Then in this appointment scheduler agent, again I am calling another appointment check workflow, so that it will know based on the request given by the customers, it will going to validate that in appointment.xls. Then accordingly it will respond back to the customers with the help of agent and LLM. Okay, so now I want to add one more thing in the class 3. So what exactly that is called context. Why I'm going to add that context into my agent here. So before that, I'll give you the background. What is the context? So let's take an scenario where you have built your agent and you have integrated your agent and LLM, and you have integrated your RPA workflows and all. Okay, so yes, definitely whenever your customer will send the details, suppose let's assume customer want to check the appointment date, suppose customer want to update the appointment date, so definitely the agent will connect to LLM, and LLM will smart enough to go and check the Excel, and it will be reply an email to the customers. But when I say reply an email to the customers, the email format is decided by the LLM. Okay, and it will in that format, so it will send the email to the customers based on the prompt definitely we have given, so accordingly it will send the email to the customers. But the email format and the template is used by the LLM to send back to the customer cannot be consistent. Suppose in this time it sends in a different format, might be tomorrow it will be sent in a different format. Okay, so this is not consistency in the nature. So whenever the LLM or my agent is replying back to the customers for a inquiry, for a update, for a cancel appointment also, right? So these kind of things we can say is called hallucinations. Okay, so it means that agent is not proving that I am not aware of this. Agent is smart enough to give the answer to customers using his intelligence. Okay, so to all these hallucinated results, to avoid, the context will come to the picture. Okay, so what is the context? Context is nothing but we will give the background informations, or we will give the knowledge about the system, so that we will strictly tell to the agent or LLM, you don't deviate here and there, you strictly follow the context we have given, accordingly you will reply the email to the customer. Apart from this, you don't add anything from your one. Okay, so that restrictions you have to add in the form of a, you can say, context. Okay, so that is the you can say the overall understanding of the context here. So if you see here, that is called context grounding in UiPath terminology. Okay, ensure your agent stay focused on the relevant and accurate information. okay, by providing with a specific knowledge source. It means that in context we will provide my specific knowledge source. By taking the help of knowledge source, LLM will, my agent will always focus on the knowledge source and give the accurate and relevant information to the customers. It means that in this case it will not create the template by one, it will focused on the knowledge source I have defined in the context. Based on this, it will follow the template and send the email to the customer, so that my response will be always consistent and accurate. It will be not hallucinated. Okay, that's why it's saying that instead of relying on the generic AI knowledge, that's what I was telling, which will be not, AI will not allow him to use the own intelligence to write the email. Okay, like so that you will end up with the inconsistency of the email, right? Suppose today send in a different format, tomorrow will send in a different format to the customers. So to avoid all such situations, this is one of the example I have given. Similarly, suppose you have some PRD document, suppose you have some FRD document, suppose you have some policy document, so that your agent will focus on these document, and then it will build the result, and it will give the accurate and focused and relevant information to the customer, instead of deviating here and there, giving lot of hallucinated results to the customers. Okay, so now definitely my agent will work, and in this agent definitely I will get a response also, but the response are not consistent. Okay, and the response are not relevant. So this response might be today send in a different format, tomorrow will send something will different. So this is not consistent at all. To avoid all such things, we are going to integrate context into our agent, into our autonomous agent. So how we'll do that? To do this context integration to our autonomous agent, so first of all you should have these two prerequisites. You should have a cloud account, you have to log into the cloud account, then you have to go to your product launcher, then you have to this is what I am talking about. You have to go to the product launcher, then click on UiPath Studio. That's the step number one. Then step number two is you have to create one autonomous agent. Okay, so how to create? You have to go to the previous class 1 and 2, part 1 and part 2, so that you will able to see how you can build your appointment management agent. Okay, with 3 flows. 2 is RPA workflow, 1 is the agent. Okay, once you complete this, then you can watch this class. You will able to integrate your context to your agent. Okay, so then the next step is what you have to do. You have to go to your agent. Okay, this is my agent called appointment scheduler agent. Okay, in this agent I'll go to the form based. In this form based, if you see here, this is my system prompt, and you have seen in the previous class I have integrated one RPA workflow in the tools. Okay, where it will check the appointment. Now here you have to add your context. In this section you have to add your context. Okay, so how will add the context? You have to go to add context. In the add context, here you will see the index. Okay, you have to store the data somewhere. Can be in your third-party system, your Google Drive or OneDrive. Also you can store your data in storage bucket, which is the feature available in UiPath Orchestrator. So you can store your data in the storage bucket, then use the index to access these inside your agent. Okay, so now we will see that in detail. Okay, so if you see here, what my recommendation will be, you have to go to, because in this case we are not going to use storage bucket to store the file. Okay, so that will be covered in some, when we will talk about the orchestrator session, then we will talk about the storage bucket, then you will see that. But in this case we will going to connect to OneDrive to read the data from the OneDrive. Okay, so to do this, you should have one account in Microsoft OneDrive. Then you upload these templates. This template you have to upload. So if you see, I have been uploaded. So in this my OneDrive, this is my folder appointment schedule agent underscore context. These are the template I have already given. I have already stored inside my OneDrive. Okay, So if it is a cancellation, how the email should go to the customer. If it is a confirmation not found or reschedule, how the information should go to the customers. That I have clearly defined, so that agent will not deviate here and there when it will give the answer, or it will not use some dump knowledge from the web and give the answer, right? So now you have to go to your OneDrive and upload your details. Okay, so once you have uploaded your context files inside your OneDrive, then the next step is you have to go to the context that is available inside your agent, appointment scheduler agent. Then you have to go to the context section. Then you have to click on add context. Then in the add context, you have to click on create new. So once you clicked on create new, it will open your UiPath agent section, right? Then you have to create the index. Okay, you have to create one index. So the index name I can give appointment index. Okay, so I have given the index name is called appointment index, and description I can just give same appointment index. Okay, I can give this is called appointment management. You can see appointment management index. Okay, so then folder. So in the folder, what folder you are going to select? So when I said folder, it is asking me which folder you are going to select. In the when I said the folder, it's nothing but your local folder, not is your OneDrive folder, is the folder where your index is going to store inside the orchestrator, because your agent will access the index via orchestrator. Okay, so I want to store my index inside this shared folder. Okay, this shared folder will be available in orchestrator. Okay, that orchestrator is connected to my UiPath Studio Web. When agent will execute and look for the index, then it will go to the orchestrator and go to the index and get the details from the index, right? So that's why I have given the shared folder. Then it will go to the shared folder and connect to the, now go to the index tab and get the index, right? Now here what you are going to select it, if you have a plain text file, okay, then you have to select basics. If you have some tabular format of your data, it's clearly mentioned. If it is image, tabular format or graph or something, then you can go ahead with the advanced. If it is simple text file, you can go with the basic, but in my case it's completely simple basic. Okay, I have just selected it. Now the data source is two types, I told, right? Your data, your context can be stored in OneDrive, any other third-party system. Also you can store that in storage bucket, which is the features available in orchestrator. Okay, so but in this class I will show you how you can connect to orchestrator. So in some time in the upcoming class I can also show you how you can store in the storage bucket. Okay, then you have to click on connector. Once you click on connector, then you have to select the orchestrator folder. Here you have to select the orchestrator folder, is called shared. Okay, then you have to select the connector. My connector is called OneDrive. Then you can add a new connection, because I don't have connection. It will take for the authentication. Yes, so let it authenticate. Let establish the connection. I have established my connection. Let me put my detail. 1 second. Okay, so my connection is establishing now. It's successful. Okay, now you have to select where exactly the connection you want here. Okay, so then the next step is you have to select the data source inside OneDrive. Where is your folder is located? In OneDrive, my folder is located. Let me open it. Inside OneDrive, my folder is there. Correct? Then the file type, you can select which kind of file you have. I have just txt files. Include subfolders, yes. Okay, so now I'll just reiterate it. I have given the index name, I have given the descriptions. Okay, I have given the folders. Okay, which folder I want the access, and then I can see here the basics. Okay, this is a text file. Then the next step is you will see here my data settings. Okay, then the data settings, I have selected connectors because my data is stored in the external system. Then I have selected the orchestrator folder where exactly your file is going to be stored. Okay, then the connector details I have given, then connection I have established, then I have given the path and the file type I have given, right? So then the next step is what you have to do. You have to click on save. Okay, once you clicked on save, then your index is created, right? Your index is created. So if you see here, your index is created, which is coming from OneDrive. Okay, so let it refresh it. It will be successful sync up. So if you want to see these details, how we'll check? You go to your product launcher, go to orchestrator, and in the orchestrator, you will able to see the index here. Okay, so if you go to here, select the tenant, and in the tenant if you select the shared, okay, in the shared you will able to see the storage bucket. Here you can store the data also. If you see, I have stored some of the data here, okay, in the storage bucket. Index, here you will see the index here. I have created some index. Recently I have created this index here, right? Now I'll back to my, you can say I'll back to my UiPath Studio Web. Okay, so let me go to UiPath Studio Web. Okay, so in UiPath Studio Web, what I will do, I will go to context again, and in the context click on add context. Now you will able to see my index is available here. Just I will select the index. Okay, once I select the index, index is added here, right? And here you will see the index details, index description, everything you will able to see here. Okay, from where it is picking the details, everything is list out here. So the strategy is semantic. When you have some text format data and all, you have to go with semantic. If you have some, you can say structured format. When you have some tabular format, CSV, tabular and all, you can go with that. Batch kind of transformation if you have, you can go. Deep rag based if you have, you can also go accordingly. Okay, so then here you will find the file extensions also. File extension is a text format. Okay, so similarly you will find the relevance score threshold and all, and maximum result retrieve, so maximum how many result can retrieve and all. So all these informations related to LLM has given. Okay, so that's it. And then the last step, what we will do, we will just slightly modify our system prompt here. Okay, because we have to give the instruction to our LLM in this format. You have to send the email and you take the reference of my context. Okay, so then what you have to do, you have to go to your OneDrive, open this system format. Okay, once you open this system format, copy this template. Okay, this is just a generic one. Then you go here, then you paste here. So in the system prompt, okay, you go down and paste it here. Okay, so that's it. So why I pasted it here? Because my agent, when it will going to draft the email to the customers, it will be also consider this is the guideline given by the user, and using this guideline it will go to the respective context and draft the email. Okay, so that's it. So now you will, if you see here, your LLM is now completely constrained to follow the context and to send the response to the customers. Okay, so now my flow is now integrated with RPA, integrated with agent, and integrated with context. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.